Mining, what's it look like?
I done you a shirt.
Yeah, I'm wearing this one.
Oh, that were a waste of time. Thanks very much. What? What?
Well, that was the shirt that Dad had on.
For the wedding.
Oh, what's the matter with me?
Nothing.
What was it doing?
It's all right.
Come on, Roy, get your skates. And have you seen what time it is?
I'm not going.
You what? Roy, this is your brother we're talking about.
Do you think I've forgotten that?
So, you should be there.
Why? Why do I need some stranger in a wig telling me how my brother died? I watched it happen, Linda.
You could show your respects.
Respects, it'll be a circus, Dad. I've only got to look at witnesses.
I want to remember him a hero.
Just forget it, Mum. He would.
Don't suppose you've slept, have you?
Do I look that bad?
No, you don't. You look very dignified. Unlike that trollop. I suppose she'll turn up in something flashy, slashed to the thigh.
No, Betty, she's too clever for that. It's black Chanel these days. Very demure. She's the woman wronged, remember? Do you know what day it is today?
Tuesday, why?
Nothing.
All set?
You're all right, love. We're here now.
Yeah, I'll be fine, honestly. I just wish it was all over.
So, what's it to be?
Sorry?
My offer. Will you run with 300k?
Chris, we're on our way to the inquest.
So?
So my mind isn't exactly on the deal at the moment.
Pull the other one.
Now, are you going to be a good boy? Go to sleep for Mummy.
It's a very fair price and fast. I can have the contracts drawn up this afternoon. Look, stop kidding yourself. You won't get another bid as good. You won't get another bid at all.
I already have.
You ready? Oh, no.
What?
Take him back up to the nursery.
Frank?
I won't have you doing this, Kim. I will not have you carting him around for effect.
I'm not. I want him with me.
On the stand when you're giving evidence? How crass can you get?
I want him there.
Have some respect. For the Glovers, if not your own son. Now take him back upstairs.
He says we can go through now.
Hey up, here comes the cavalry.
Sick.
Let it go, Mum. There's nothing we can do about it.
It'd still be here now if it weren't for them. They've no right to have the last word.
They won't get it. The coroner will. But he needs to know what happened. And maybe me and Linda should take you home if it's going to upset you.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. It was my son and he was a hero and I want to hear it said in front of everyone. I want it in the papers.
Yeah, you and me both, love.
Kathy?
Kim, you're looking well. You're the only person I know who can turn that into an accusation. Nice suit. Thank you. Well, that's the formalities over with.
Kathy?
Don't bother.
With what?
Don't bother trying to justify it. You'll do as you always do, whatever's best for you. And the Glovers, Frank, me, even James, we can all go and hang.
You're wrong.
Leave it.
I nearly forgot. Happy birthday.
Look on the bright side, Dad. At least you didn't run off like me, man. Cheers.
At least she's still alive.
Aye, that should keep the spice in your relationship.
Oh, I knew I'd get no sympathy off you. Hey! Don't!
Roy! Don't what?
Shout over.
Why not?
It's the inquest today, isn't it?
I know. So?
So he'll be a barrel of laughs, won't he?
Marlon, make like a banana.
Eh?
Split!
Before I put these into action.
Something I said.
Fire officer, in the light of your statement and of the information you've given to the court today, What, in your expert opinion, was the cause of the fire?
The pattern of smoke damage indicated the fire started on the hearth, probably with a card or Christmas decoration falling first into the grate and then onto the rug. This quickly became a fireball once the contents of the vanity case were added to the equation, notably the nail varnish remover and the pressurised canister of hairspray.
And this would have spread quite rapidly?
Mr. Glover would have found almost immediately that his only escape route from the bedroom was blocked.
Fire Officer O'Donnell, thank you very much indeed. Now we'll pass on to the next statement from Mr. Frank Tate.
Will Mr. Frank Tate please step into the box? I swear by Almighty God.
I swear by Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give.
That the evidence I shall give.
Shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Mr. Tate, what was your relationship to the deceased?
I was his employer, but not at the time of his death.
No, I understand that Mr. Glover was dismissed after the discovery of his affair with your wife.
That is correct. When David Glover came to work for me, I placed a great deal of trust in him. I treated him like he was one of my own. But he betrayed me. Yes, I was angry, understandably. I resented him. But his death was a tragedy. He was an extremely courageous young man. He gave up his life so that my son could live.
Oh, thanks. What?
Just run that by me again.
This is turning into an interrogation.
Just that bit about the favour.
Look, Kim reckons she's due a large sum of money.
Yeah, like the gross national product of Belgium.
And she wants me to put together a potential investment portfolio. I said I'd make a call, all right?
As a favour?
Well, why not?
And I suppose she was all those come-to-bed eyes. That's how it started with Dave Glover.
Why, Miss Hughes, I do believe you're jealous.
Of Kim? Why would I be jealous of an ageing, vampish, slim...
Good-looking blonde? Sorry, rich, good-looking blonde.
Steve, be careful.
You serious?
Yeah. Kim's trouble.
Oh, she's a pussycat.
No. She's a black widow spider.
I'm not quite clear from your statement, Mrs. Tate. What caused you to leave your son in the bedroom for such a period of time?
I'm not in the habit of leaving my child unattended.
I'm not saying that you are. Nevertheless, you were away from him long enough for the fire to start, take hold, and spread.
I was loading the car. We were planning to leave that night, in secret.
We?
James and I. I wanted to take him away with me. Make a fresh start.
And Mr. Glover?
What about him?
Why was he there, given that it was a secret?
I'd asked him. I asked him to come with us. I told him what time we'd be leaving. I thought he'd stood us up.
But he didn't.
No, he arrived in time. He turned up, but it was only to say goodbye. It was very painful for both of us. I loved David more than anything in the world. I couldn't bear to lose him.
If I could bring you back to the sequence of events, Mrs. Tate.
And he couldn't bear to be separated from James.
From your son?
From his son. David was James's natural father. I thought this would be enough to sway him, but he'd made his decision. He'd had enough of the deceit. He wanted to stay in Emmerdale with his wife and family. And now my son will never know his father. We've all lost him.
Kim keeps on trying to tell us that little James is our Dave's. Dad says he believes her, but Mum ain't having any of it.
What about you?
I suppose she's right. No point in hammering it, though. And then Frank Tate ain't gonna give it up that easy, so what's the point?
It's like my dad with this Lisa, though. Well, she's a nice enough bird and everything, but he's just looking for someone to fill my mum's slippers. Keeps trying to crack on that we're one big happy family and that.
And you're not then?
I reckon you just got to accept it, haven't you? When some things go, they go for good. That's it.
This was a tragic, but thankfully far from typical case. A young man who, despite the dangers, displayed courage and selflessness, risking his own life to save that of a 3-month-old child. The Home Office pathologist states the cause of death to be multiple organ failure due to burn injury with severe smoke inhalation. Toxicologist reports indicates the presence in the blood of 150 to 160 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres, equivalent to 5 pints of beer or 10 small measures of whiskey. Mr. Glover had been celebrating the wedding of his sister on the day in question, which adds a further layer of tragedy to this story. To David Glover's family, to his widow, and to all who cared for him, I extend my deepest sympathy. The only verdict I can return is one of misadventure. Very sad. Very sad.
Saying it was his fault.
Well, that's what it sounded like to me. Making out he were too boozed up to know what he was doing.
How are you feeling?
She's a bit upset.
What's the point? What is the point of bringing your kids up to know right from wrong? Where does it get you?
It gives you kids you can be proud of.
They should be giving my son a medal, not slagging him off when he can't answer back. It's not fair.
Are we supposed to be grateful?
For what?
Your little goody two-shoes act. Well, are we?
Grow up, Linda.
All you've ever done is used him to score points off Frank.
All I ever did was love him.
Don't make me laugh. If you really loved him...
I'd care for his family, including his widow. I'd lie on oath to tell them what they wanted to hear, no matter how much it cost me. That's what grown-ups do. Now get out of my way.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Now who's telling lies?
Well, from where I'm standing, it still looks like you. I mean, all this about James being our Dave's son. You've changed your tune.
Well, you'll have to learn to live with it, because it's fact.
No, it's not. It's just another way of twisting the knife. In Frank, in Kathy, and my mum and dad.
Look, drop it, you two, will you?
You should try thanking me instead of bandying insults. I've done what it takes to make your mother happy. She wants to believe that her son was Kathy's good and faithful husband. And I've gone along with it for her sake.
Oh, really?
But don't ask me to lie to my son. Because when he's old enough, I'll tell him the truth.
Truth? You don't even know the meaning of the word.
Unlike your husband.
And what do you mean by that?
He knows what I mean.
No, I don't.
Doesn't it stick in your craw, Biff? The times you begged David to come clean. And look at you now. Still covering up for him.
You want this in the papers, don't you? Front page.
What about what David wanted? What did he want?
Kathy, he wanted you.
He wanted to be a good man, a loyal husband.
Yeah?
He wanted excitement and secrets. He wanted Kim's son. The trouble with David was that he wanted the lot. He knew us too well, Biff. He knew you'd always cover up for him. He knew I'd always take him back.
Oh, he loved you. It's you that he married.
But that night, he was going to leave with her.
No.
Just say it.
No, Kathy.
He knew I'd believe you when you lied because I wanted to. I don't want to anymore. He was leaving, wasn't he? Biff.
Yes. Yes.
Oh. What do you want?
Not you.
Look, my father's out. Try making an appointment like normal people.
It's not Frank I'm after. It's Kim. I've got some draft contracts I need to check. Shall I leave them? Best not. Tell her I'll call back later.
What am I? Her secretary?
I won't answer that. Have a nice day now.
Oh, Kathy, where's she going?
Leave her, Mum.
She's supposed to be coming home with us.
I just can't...
Just forget about it. It's done now.
Look, love, we're going to get a solicitor. We're going to go to the papers. They can't say things like that about people.
What things?
We're calling it a misadventure, like he were drunk, like he deserved what happened to him. It was an accident.
For God's sake, Jan, it's just a word. It's not going to bring him back.
They thought Kim was lying. But they all know now, don't they? Including my mum. I just hope you're prepared for the consequences.
She humiliated me today, son, and I fell for it. I stood up in front of a courtroom full of people and walked out like I was in the wrong. Don't you say a word. In fact, don't you ever speak to me again, or so help me God, I'll swing for you.
Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Is there any good news?
Oh, I think so. Steve called. Says he can't help you after all.
And that's the good news.
I spoke to the bank. They've seen sense at last. I'll take the livery business for $350,000. I thought you'd be pleased.
Cafe? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
Was it really awful? I've been thinking about you all day.
Thanks.
I wore this to the funeral. I mean, you don't remember, like. And now Marlon's been taking the mickey out of me all day. But he never knew David. Not like us. I'll never forget him as long as I live. He was the kindest, most generous person I ever met.
I just thought I'd come out feeling, you know, like it was the end of one chapter and the beginning of another, but I feel worse. It's like picking a scab.
I shouldn't have bothered going then, should you?
Well, thanks, Ro. I feel loads better.
We all feel a bit like that, Mum.
Kathy don't.
I bet she does, you know, love.
Oh, no, she's well and truly brushed this lot under the carpet. Upwards and onwards.
When I feel like a drink. Anybody else?
Aye, go on then, I will.
Not for me, thanks.
Jam?
Why not? We're a family of alcoholics, aren't we?
Roy? Roy, boy?
Look, I'm going to stop here tonight. I don't want to leave her like this.
Do you want me to stop with you?
You do what you like.
She stood there in front of the coroner, the chief fire officer, those two tatty journalists from the local rag, and publicly put her two fingers up at me.
Well, I'm surprised you're not used to it by now.
I'm thinking about James. She claims she loves him, yet she's quite happy to make the poor kid a laughing stock.
She'll carry on doing it if you don't stop her. You've got to take the initiative, Dan.
How?
Look, the answer is staring you in the face. I'm amazed you haven't considered it before. A blood test. Prove it once and for all.
You shouldn't be here. Eric Powell will skin me if he catches you.
What, that Daisy?
Get off, will you?
I'm starving.
Well, whose fault's that?
Yours.
Look, I've told you. sort yourself out with Lisa and I'll happily cook for you.
Hey, it's not for the one to try. She's got me jumping through hoops as that woman.
And I'm sick to the back teeth of it. I mean, look at the state of you. Have you done anything to make yourself a better catch? No, you're just happy moping around the house all day, expecting everyone to dance to your tune. Oh, and what about the house? Have you tried to make that more welcoming? Have you, Wick? It's no wonder that Lisa won't shift. The house, Uncle Zach, it's like a flaming pigsty.
Came in for a chip butty.
What stopped you in the past?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose it felt like stooping to their level.
Is that it? Nothing else?
Like what?
Like a tiny suspicion that he might not be yours?
No.
Dad?
Absolutely not. Before he was born, maybe it did cross my mind. But the moment I clapped eyes on him, I knew. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it?
I think so.
Well, you've seen those photos of when you were a baby. He's the image of you.
Sure. Are you saying you want to let this thing drop? Let the Emmerdale gossip squad think what they like?
No. It's gone too far for that.
Well, then go for it.
It's easier said than done. What we need are Glover's medical records. His blood group, at least.
Well, you've got the contacts.
What, and to hell with the Hippocratic Oath?
There's no problem. You've got everything to gain. Hit Kim with the facts and you'll shut her up for good.
Yeah, who is it?
It's me, Roy.
Hey, come in. What are you doing here?
I just thought I'd say you what. Family, they're doing me head in.
Yeah, sit down. Fancy a beer?
Yeah, cheers, thanks. What are you doing?
I'm having a clear out. I'm going to take it all down to Oxfam.
Decent stuff in here. Isn't this one of them? It's all our Dave's.
Yeah, I thought someone should get the benefit. Look, if there's anything there you'd like, please, take it.
Don't look like you're keeping much.
Only memories?
What's going on, Kathy?
What do you mean?
Oh, it looks to me like you're checking our Dave out as well.
Roy, I don't want to discuss this. Maybe in a few weeks' time when we've all calmed down.
Why don't you just say it, Kathy?
Yes, I'm chucking him out and not before time.
Maybe your husband.
Why didn't you remind him of that when he was alive? He was quick enough to drop me when it suited. He had me sitting by his hospital bed, breaking my heart, and he didn't give a damn about me.
Yeah, he did, Kathy. He really loved you.
He was going to run away with Kim on Christmas Eve. Even you know that's true.
You can't just ditch him. Not like this, anyway.
What am I supposed to do? Forgive and forget because he's dead?
Remember the good times.
That's Glover logic for you. I can see you're following in his footsteps, all right. Roy, wait, I'm sorry. Stay and talk. What about your beer?
Have you been to Oxfam?